Hello again, YouTube. It's Skylar. Welcome back to my channel. And in today's video, I'm going to be discussing what it's like dealing with the public as a transgender woman. Now, this is definitely hits home for me because I've been harassed a lot in public by total strangers who didn't seem to think that it was inappropriate in any way to verbally demean someone that they didn't know. So, most of the harassment that I've received has mostly always been at work from customers that I've dealt with, but a lot of the time as well, it's come from me just being out in public in general. Now, there's several different levels of the type of transphobic harassment that I've received that most people might overlook, because when they think of harassment, they think of a direct verbal attack. And from what I've experienced, transphobia is a much wider array that's sometimes more subtle as a way of sort of undermining someone's legitimacy as a human being. Now, some of the things that I've experienced have been people staring at me a lot inappropriately. Like, stop staring. I'm not something to be stared at. I'm just a person. And I've also had people sort of try to say something without saying it. So they'll give me like a dirty look as they walk by me. And it's like, why are you being so hostile when I'm not even in your vicinity? Like, I'm not even trying to do anything. I'm just trying to go about my day. And these individuals seem to think that it's okay to just, like, dirty looks, really? Like, you're gonna walk past me and roll your eyes at me and scoff. Like, how childish are you? That's so childish. Other things that I've had happen have been people smirking or saying rude comments while I'm approaching them, or insinuating things that aren't true. I know a lot of the time people have sort of made jokes as I've been dealing with them, especially if it's me as the customer. Sometimes people will sort of like, I don't know how to explain this, but like I've gone into restaurants before where the server will say to another employee, take care of this customer because I don't want to. And they say it within earshot of me. And I can totally hear them, and they know that I can hear them say that. And that's just like really humiliating, especially if there's other people around. And some of the things that I've realized is that some of these microaggressions, really you just have to toughen up and get over. I know it can be really hard, especially when people are saying such hurtful things, or I've had lots of experiences where I've gone out in public and I can overhear people talking about me, like a group of 3 or 4 people literally sitting there and talking about how disgusted they are that I exist right next to me. And almost as if I'm not even there, as if I wasn't even present. I mean, it's even worse. It's one thing if people talk behind your back. It's another thing if they do it right in front of you and they know you can hear them. And it's like, why do people have to feel as if they only can feel good about themselves by putting down others? I don't understand what's lacking in these people's lives that makes them feel like they have to belittle others in order to feel good about themselves. Like, I'm sorry, I didn't know that you were perfect. I'm just trying to live my life. So you focusing so much attention on me shows how little you have going on in yours. But the thing I wanted people to take away from this video through my personal experience is that if you just started your transition, you're probably more open to verbal harassment than someone farther down just because of the passing phase of it. And it really sucks, but it's sort of something that you're going to have to get used to. And I know giving up my white male privilege to be my authentic self was really tough because I went from being sort of invisible to being everyone eyes on me, like all the time. So it's definitely something that you have to get used to, and you have to realize that there's just going to be mean people out there who are never going to understand, and you shouldn't expect them to, but you shouldn't let what they say get to you either. I mean, there have been situations where even I have to take a step back and breathe for a minute. Like one example, because I work in retail and I was bagging someone's groceries, and this individual reacted with vigilance as stop, and actually told me to stop touching his groceries. He did not want me to bag his groceries. He wanted someone else to bag his groceries, and looked at me in disgust and was like, basically like, get away from me. I don't even want you present in my vicinity. Like, don't touch my stuff. Don't be around. I don't even want to look at you. And that's the sort of ignorant thing that's out there. And it's really sad because that's just a lack of education. That's a lack of information. And the only way that you can fight ignorance is with education. That's the cure for ignorance, is education. The more people understand something, the less they fear it, and they don't make stupid comments like, don't touch my stuff because I don't know, I'm going to get my cooties on it or something, like going to get the trans virus and you're going to turn into one. Like, that's not how that works. There's no trans virus. I'm not contagious. But a lot of the hurtful comments stems from ignorance and people's idea that when you're transgender, you are no longer a valid human being. And I just wanted to bring this topic up because even in progressive places, this sort of ignorance and hatred towards trans people still exists, and it's really hard to get over, especially when you have no other way of coping with it except for like running into the bathroom and crying. And it sucks. But this is why it's so important that we educate people that we're just as valuable as anyone else. There's nothing wrong with being transgender. Like I've said before, being transgender is just a natural variation of the human condition. And that's it. It's completely normal. It's completely natural. And the more people start to realize that, the more that they'll accept transgender people for who they are, which is just normal people, just like everybody else. Just different. Everybody's different. So with that said, I hope that was reassuring in some ways. I hope I didn't make people feel too afraid to be in public. It's not as bad as some people might think it is. I would say 98% of the time, no one cares. It's that 2% of people that are going to be like, oh, a transgender person, gross. Like, don't focus on those people. those people are gone. Like, I hope someday they come to their senses and realize how wrong they were to feel that way about someone that didn't even know. But they're not worth the effort to like even give them attention as legitimately saying something that's useful. So, as hurtful as some of the things can be, the best course of action really is to just ignore it and realize that the 98% of people that have common sense don't care and don't have a problem with being transgender or people being transgender. Like, that's the majority. So you got numbers on your side. People are getting to the point where they're realizing transgender is normal. So with all that said, I hope you all have a wonderful rest of your day, and I will see you all in the next video. Bye.